Today I messed up by implying that my family owned my doctor's family and sounding super racist. I know it sounds stupid, but I forget sometimes that most people are the same race as their relatives. Well, self-awareness. I am white, but my father, who adopted me, is black. My biological father died when I was 3. I have a white sibling and a black sibling. My white sister has a black son. Okay, yeah, that is confusing. I went to a new gynecologist today and my new doctor is black. Her name is... Wait, this is a girl posting. I was getting more Peter Griffin from Family Guy vibes on this one first. I went to a new gynecologist today and my new doctor is black. Her last name is my mother's maiden name, which is not a common name. I'm chatty when I'm nervous, and this was only my second time seeing a gynecologist. So I told her she has the same last name as my mom and asked my doctor where she's from. She said the name of the same relatively small city in Alabama where my white mother is from. I said, what? No way. My mom's from there, we must be related somehow. Okay, I take back the self-awareness comment. She just kind of paused for a minute and looked at me like she was trying to figure out if I was joking, and then she finally said it. Did your mother's family own a plantation? I said not to my knowledge, and I certainly hope not, and suddenly realized that this was the implication in me, a white person, telling a black person that we must be related through my white family. Oh, yep, she missed the self-awareness. I just genuinely had not, in the moment, been considering that we must be related isn't an okay thing to say in that context. So while she was doing my pap smear, I was apologizing profusely. Wow, talk about uncomfortable. So while she was doing my pap smear, I was apologizing profusely, trying to explain that I don't think of race and family the way most people do because my dad is black, and she said, but it's your mom who you thought I might be related to, right? And I realized I wasn't going to dig myself out of this hole. And I probably really upset her and probably sounded like I was tokenizing my dad. She was professional and it didn't affect my treatment, but I feel like I came across as the most racist asshole ever, and now I don't ever want to go to that doctor again. It's weird how the truth can be uncomfortable like that. They're both right about the how and the why they're related. Today I messed up by giving my youngest son advice on happy relationships and causing my oldest son's girlfriend to dump him. Somebody had an eventful day. First, I would like to say this actually happened on my youngest son's birthday, but today is the day my oldest son confronted me, so here's what happened. After the cake and presents, my youngest son and I were chatting. He's a young teenager, and now that my wife and I feel he's old enough, wife and I, I'm going to assume this is a guy. I thought it was going to be a woman telling the story. Now that my wife and I feel he is old enough and mature enough, we gave him permission to start dating. He wanted advice on his future relationships. His mom and I almost never fight, and apparently it was noticeable enough that he asked about it. The conversation began by talking about learning to respect your partner, etc. I can't remember everything I said, but here are some highlights. He's gonna tell him happy wife, happy life. Always be ready and willing to say you're sorry even when you think you're right. Never dismiss your girlfriend's feelings. They are valid even if you don't understand them. Communicate, communicate, communicate. If something is bothering you and you don't tell your significant other, you're only hurting yourself. Listen when she's trying to tell you something, no matter how much you don't want to hear it. Put the game controller down and mute the TV whenever she wants your attention. End every conversation with a sign of your affection. And if you won't see her for a few hours, give her a hug, a kiss, or both every time. Throughout the day, randomly tell her you're thinking about her, you care about her, or you love her. And mean it. If you stop meaning it, figure out why and fix it, or break up. Trust is important, and once you've broken it, you might never fix it again. Many people believe love is the most important thing in a relationship, but it's not. It's respect. If you don't respect your partner, or feel she doesn't respect you, talk about it and fix it, or break up. Otherwise, you will both be miserable. Okay, so we gave him the long-winded version of happy wife, happy life. Close enough. Wait, why would the other girlfriend break up with the dude? Let's see. There were a bunch of other pieces of advice I gave him, but that's the general gist. It wasn't all seriousness, we joked around a bit too. I told him this little bit of advice my dad told me a long time ago. You will know when your girlfriend is completely comfortable around you, when she is willing to fart in front of you. Don't marry her until that happens. Sage advice, that is. That's so true. If a girl's not comfortable enough around you, she will hold it in until her stomach starts to hurt. Like Tammy from Bob's Burgers. Now, me and my youngest were sitting at my desk having this talk while he was picking out the video games he wanted to buy with his birthday money. My daughter and oldest son, now ex-girlfriend, were on the couch playing video games and listening to us. My daughter occasionally chimed in with her own comments. She's been dating a few years now and had her own bits of advice to give. Though her comments were more about how to act on dates, places they can go, and stuff like that. My oldest son's girlfriend hardly spoke at all. In hindsight, that should have been a huge red flag. So yeah, she was probably realizing that her man doesn't do any of that stuff. Eventually, my oldest boy came over and dropped off his gift for his little brother. He and his girlfriend stuck around long enough for him to have some cake and then they left. At this point, I don't know exactly what happened. My daughter managed to get some details from my oldest son's now ex-girlfriend, and I got some from my oldest when he came over to yell at me for breaking up his relationship. Long story short, my oldest wasn't being a good boyfriend. His girlfriend confronted him with some issues they've been having. He felt like he didn't respect her opinions and feelings, and she dumped him. It's that simple. So in other words, she felt her partner didn't respect her, talked about it, tried to fix it, and then broke up. When trying to fix it didn't work. It was good advice. I love all my children with every bit of my heart, even when they're mad at me, and I admit I messed up. I'm to blame for his breakup, but not because of what I said in front of his girlfriend. I messed up because I didn't drill the advice I gave my youngest son into my oldest boy's head when he was younger. He wants me to post this on the Am I the Asshole forums, but I'm not going to do that. I admit that I could be a better father, and I can be a real asshole sometimes, but I'm pretty damn sure that even though I could have read the room a little bit better, that wasn't the real problem. Hopefully my oldest son learned from this. I'm sure his son did learn something. Too bad for him the life lesson followed the test. Today I messed up by accidentally proposing to my girlfriend's dad. How do you do that by accident? So this happened last night and I'm still cringing into another dimension. My girlfriend and I have been dating for 2 years and things have been going great. Recently I started thinking about proposing, but I hadn't settled on how to pop the question. However, her dad is pretty old school, so I thought it would be nice to ask for his blessing first. Cue my big mistake. We were at their house for dinner, and after dessert I pulled her dad aside. I was nervous, so my brain decided to go on vacation and shut down. I meant to say, I'd like your blessing to marry your daughter. Instead I said, I'd like to marry you. The man just stared at me. I realized what I'd said about a half a second later and immediately panicked. I backpedaled so hard that I made it with stammering something like, I want to marry your daughter, not you. Unless you're into that. Not that I mean you're not attractive, or, oh my god, I'll just go jump off a cliff now. Meanwhile, my girlfriend, who had wandered over at this point, overheard part of it and burst out laughing. Her dad, to my surprise, laughed so hard he started crying. He eventually said, well, I appreciate the offer, but I think my wife would object. Long story short, I got his blessing. But now her entire family refers to me as Dad's other husband. Today I messed up by telling my girlfriend my type. Oh, you idiot. You described someone that wasn't like her, didn't you? TLDR. Today I messed up by essentially telling my girlfriend that my type was the exact opposite of her. Sad times ensue. Of course they did. Some time back, I brought up the topic of types. I mentioned it because her best friend and I seemed to be damn near the exact individual, just different genders. I joked she must have a type. She took it a bit more seriously than I intended and proceeded to tell me that she wasn't sure she had a type. But she did like it when men were comfortable with expressing femininity, and that she thought tattoos were cool. Then she asked me my type, and I told her that generally it's been curvy blondes with long hair, big chests, and blue eyes. She lightly teased me for having basic tastes and we moved on. She didn't move on. The past couple months she's been asking for constant reassurance, asking if I'm sure I like her immediately after moments of intimacy, asking if I find her attractive, etc. She also stopped coming with me to the gym, which was strange because she loves weightlifting, and she's lost a lot of her muscle tone. This morning a woman walked past our car at a red light. I sincerely didn't notice her, but my girlfriend said, wow, look at her, she's exactly your type. I hadn't thought about the conversation since it happened, but everything made sense. I told my girlfriend that she was my type. She said, not even close, and started crying. I've only seen her cry one other time in the 4 years I've known her. My girlfriend is tall, flat-chested, muscular, and has short brown hair and brown eyes. She's beautifully androgynous, and occasionally people do mistake her for a very pretty teenage boy. Oh, well, that's why she's insecure. Sure hope she never finds that teenage boy comment. Oof. She said when she spoke about her type, she said she described a vague style pretty much anyone could embody. Meanwhile, I described an individual person that she was in no way similar to, but always felt like she was expected to be. She said she couldn't go to the gym anymore because she'd tell herself I was checking out other girls. I glanced, but sometimes not egregiously, and we used to do this together. And all she could think about now was how unlike my ideal she was. That one throwaway conversation has been eating away at and completely wrecked her self-esteem for months, and I only just now realized it. Looking back, she definitely did try to bring it up once before early on, and I brushed it off with, "You're perfect for me, baby, don't worry about anything stupid," not understanding how bad she was feeling. So yeah, I feel like I messed up, not sure what to do about it. Well, the first mistake was not lying. The second mistake was bringing up something you shouldn't have been talking about. I bet you this is from the point of view of the son from the second story. Today I messed up by accidentally confessing to the wrong person. So this happened today, and I want to disappear. I've had a crush on this girl for months. We text a lot, joke around, and sometimes she might flirt back, but I've never been sure. After overthinking for weeks, I finally decided to confess. I typed a heartfelt message, something like, "I don't know when it happened, but you've become really special to me. I like you a lot, and even if you don't feel the same, I just wanted you to know." I stared at my phone for 10 minutes, hesitated, and finally sent it. Then I threw my phone across the bed like it was cursed. A minute later, my phone buzzed. I grabbed it full of nerves, and then I saw it. I sent it to the wrong person. Not my crush. Nope. I sent it to my friend, my male friend, the one who knows all my dumbest moments, the one who has seen me fail at life in real time. And his response? "Bro, same." What does that even mean? Now I'm just lying here, questioning all my life choices. Send help. What's this kid, like 12? Just send him a text explaining what you really meant to do. I bet you his friend's just trolling him though.